Hi everyone and welcome back to another historic video here in the studio. I think this is the first time we don't have a foreign YouTuber here in the studio. Instead, we have a Taiwanese YouTuber who's currently living in the US.
Hi everyone, I'm Lillian Chu. I am currently a business analyst at Spotify and I live in New York. I work in their New York office. So yeah, I've been living in the States for 6 years now.
I have so many questions, but I think we should just start from the beginning. Why did you decide to leave Taiwan?
After elementary school, my dad started a business in Vietnam, and then after 6th grade that summer, my dad was like, wait, why don't we just all move to Vietnam? Sure, let's do it.
It's a casual conversation.
Yeah, exactly. So then within 2 months, we decided that, bought a one-way ticket to Vietnam, we toured the school, and then when I went there, I barely knew how to speak English. But then in international school, like everything was English, and there was almost no Taiwanese at my school. The first few years were pretty tough.
But then when you were finally over those tough years,
yeah,
you decided to move to the US.
Yeah, at that point I was thinking like, if I already spent so much time like studying English and then put myself out there so much already, then I might as well just keep going. So then I decided to apply to school in the States, and then luckily I got into NYU. So this is such a great opportunity, I have to go. So then I went.
And now, as you mentioned, you're a business analyst.
Yes.
At Spotify.
Yes.
No offense, but it doesn't sound like something that you grew up having as your dream job.
I mean, I didn't even know like the business analyst title even existed. I didn't know what people do as business analysts.
What are you actually doing, and why is it important for a company to have that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say 70% of my day is like more data analysis. So looking at the data that already happened and trying to understand what's happening within the company, what's happening on the user side that we haven't thought about. You don't know what's happening on the user side until you actually go look at the data.
It's kind of like when I have bad views on a YouTube video.
Yeah.
When I would analyze and it's like, shit, how do I make the next video better?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I understand the importance of an analyst right
exactly.
now. I put out these videos as Spotify podcasts.
No, yeah.
What should I do to increase the amount of listeners to my Spotify podcast?
I actually don't have any tips, but
Isn't this what you do for a living?
I can't share that externally, but
okay, it's actually, a company. We will take it afterwards.
Yeah.
When the camera is shut off.
Yes.
How many hours per day are you listening to music?
I would say probably like 5 to 6 hours. Basically, when I'm working, I always have my Spotify on.
It's in your contract. You have to listen.
No.
Pump up the numbers. You applied 3 times.
I did,
for the internship program, which does not guarantee you a full-time position. But you went the long route. You finally got accepted.
Yeah.
And then from your internship, you got a full-time position.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually did the
That's amazing. How was the internship questions or process? Was it from which country is Spotify?
No, but then they did ask me like...
Do you know from which country Spotify is?
Yes, Sweden.
Okay. We didn't rehearse before. I was not sure. And just to put things in perspective, because as you know, and I'm very proud, Spotify is Swedish.
Yes.
In the US, people always have this you can work at Google, you can work at Facebook, and you always see these fanciest offices, and it's just it's an adult playground, it's not an office. And because Spotify is Swedish, that's our kind of the nicest office you can get in Sweden would be Spotify. And after watching your YouTube video as well, you make me super jealous when you have these amazing offices, and specifically the food court. You had a coffee shop in your office.
Yes, we do.
And I remember you said multiple flavors of smoothies and coffee on tap.
Coffee on tap.
But every single time I see you cooking food in your videos, it's still always Taiwanese food. And I saw we have this amazing kitchen, whatever you want, the coffee is free. But today we're gonna have a boiled egg with some soy sauce. I feel like you can take the Taiwanese out from Taiwan, but you cannot take Taiwan out from the Taiwanese.
Totally, yeah. For some reason, I just crave the food that I used to eat growing up, and the food that my mom used to cook me.
So you would say you're still very much Taiwanese at heart?
At heart, yes.
Okay. Normally, I would interview foreigners here, and I always ask how did it feel moving to Taiwan? What was something that surprised you about Taiwan?
Yeah.
So from a Taiwanese perspective, moving to the US first to study, but then also to find a job, was there any difference?
I think the biggest culture shock I have is more on the people side. When I went to the US, I realized people are more outspoken than people in Taiwan. Taiwan. Like in Taiwan, I was taught growing up, like, you need to be polite. You can't, just like that's in class, you can't talk too much. You don't want to like show yourself too much. But in the US, it's the complete opposite. Like in class, they want you to, have your own opinions. They want you to, counter what the professor says and like have a debate or, like be able to show yourself and then put yourself out there. At Spotify, let's say, or like generally speaking, when I intern at companies in the US, they want to see how I can be, confident in front of people, how I can, like really articulate myself, my opinions, and just say it very kind of like out loud. Versus in Taiwan, I think it's generally more like they kind of want you to like fit in and not like stand out.
One way that I have noticed after living here for 11 years is like, I feel like if you work, let's say in the States or in Sweden, you work for the company.
Yeah.
Whereas in Taiwan, I feel like you always just work for your supervisor.
Yeah.
They will tell you like, you do this, you do nothing less, nothing more.
Yeah.
But you still have to work overtime.
Exactly.
If you get to pick only one country between the US and Taiwan for living for the rest of your life, which country would that be?
That's a difficult question. I would say Taiwan. It's because let's say if I get older, I definitely want to live in Taiwan.
Definitely will get older.
Yes,
You're very young
exactly.
still. You will only get older.
Exactly. Like the healthcare is so much better in Taiwan. It's just cheaper to see a doctor, much easier. And I think it's also like more convenient to get around in Taiwan because it's much smaller versus in the States. It's kind of like everything is so far away. And like, when let's say like when I get old.
Even in New York.
Yeah. It's convenient, but then like you still need to take the subway and then it's so hard to get to places versus Taiwan.
If anyone is watching this video and thinking about they also want to pursue your dream, is there any advice you can give them if they're now, for example, are studying in Taiwan, high school, and they want to get like your level of jobs in the US, in New York?
Put yourself out there, meet as many people as you can. I would join a bunch of clubs. I did like a business clubs. I did a Taiwanese association clubs. Let's say like when my class has, external speakers or has networking events, I always go and I always get their business contact information so that, when it comes to me applying to internships, I always reach out to those people. I think it's kind of building your network and then gathering as much information as you can through these resources.
But I also want to add one thing there, as they should definitely subscribe to your YouTube channel as well. Because on this channel, as an example, you took notes of the people you were talking with on Spotify, and you were like going back to that, knowing like who the person was, and also asking for recommendations. Who should I talk to next? I think that's just amazing. If you are considering to join her on her career path, then definitely check out her YouTube channel, which is also a good transition to what I wanted to talk about next. In addition to you having an amazing job at Spotify, you also have an amazing YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Partially talking about your amazing job at Spotify, but also your life in general. How did that start? Why did you start to make a YouTube channel?
It all started actually from me having a quarter-life crisis. So
Quarter-life crisis?
Yes,
You're like
I'm
25. It's like your life hasn't even started yet.
Kind of got the hang of things with being a business analyst, but what do I want to do long term? My answer is I don't know. And I actually talked about this in my YouTube channel too, and it was a really scary thought because I was like, I worked so hard all these years, how do I not know what I want to do next? And then that's when I kind of looked inward and I thought, okay, what really makes me happy? And I realized what really makes me happy is when I can, help other people, really bring an impact, and I see that impact. I used to get like hundreds of messages from students or full-time people asking about how it's like working at Spotify or if I have any tips for them. So I thought, why don't I just make a YouTube video talking about, all the tips that I have for them when it comes to, Spotify internship. When I was making those videos, I was like, wait, I actually really like making videos.
So much fun making videos.
Yeah. I started exploring other formats like doing vlogs, doing day in my life as a business analyst, trying different camera angles, and then now I have a YouTube channel.
So cool.
I'm still pretty scared of thinking about like becoming a full-time YouTuber because I've heard it's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But hopefully if people start watching my ads a little bit longer, the pressure will be a little bit less. What will we see next on your YouTube channel?
So in the future, I'll put out more kind of sharing my tips and experiences being a business analyst, how to solve a case study during business analyst interview round, more along the lines of, what the tips and tricks for being a business analyst. Other than that, I think I'll also put out more kind of my lifestyle vlogs, just me, living in the US and me going through my life in my 20s, away from my family.
I think it's amazing just to get a glimpse of what appears to be your amazing life in New York and at Spotify. So hopefully you will all join me and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I assume they can also reach out to you if they have any questions about working at Spotify, working in the US, or maybe just move from Taiwan to try out some adventures internationally as well.
Yes, totally.
Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lucas. It starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.